Hi everyone, welcome back to our Viva Naturally YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about fear of failure, and I'm going to give you 5 specific ways to overcome this common fear because it tends to be an obstacle to accomplish our goals. Welcome to the Viva Naturally channel, where we help you to manage your energy and health to boost performance. So first, let's talk about fear, which is a human emotion that all of us go through. It is completely normal, and we just have to learn how to cope with it. So fear of failure is really us being afraid of not being able to accomplish a goal or overthinking things, and it's most of the time it's our imagination playing tricks on us based on previous experiences or stories that we hear from other people that may have had fear of failure as well, or other failure outcomes. And because it's something that is not necessarily realistic, there are certain ways and certain steps that we can take in order to overcome this fear of failure. Number 1, identify the root cause. So first, I want you to sit down and take 3 deep breaths and start to think about what caused this fear of failure. Was it a previous experience that you had? Was it something that you heard from somebody else, or that you read or watched on TV? Start thinking about these things and write them down. Feel the emotions and write those down too. Whatever is going through your mind, through your thoughts, and even how you feel if you start to get cold or hot, those are symptoms that our body emits. And it's important to keep in mind and to write them down so that we know what's going on. Number 2, analyze all potential outcomes. Many people experience fear of failure because of the unknown. They don't know what's going to happen. And the best way to address this is by thinking about what are the outcomes of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. A goal, a task, an activity, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Think about the different outcomes, A, B, C, D, categorize them, and these are the scenarios that will potentially come out. And sometimes it's okay to have a plan B and a plan C. It's okay to think of the best case scenarios and the worst case scenarios, because that's reality. Not everything works out at the end of the day, right? So when we're realistic and we sit down and we think about these things, whenever the outcome occurs in reality, it's not going to be a total surprise to us. Now, I just want to give a disclaimer and say that it's impossible to foretell the future. We don't know exactly what happens, things can change. But the fact that you're sitting down and looking ahead and thinking through this, it's going to help you overcome the fear of failure in the first place so that you can take that leap of faith that you need to get to the next level. Number 3, simplify your tasks. So now that you've identified the root cause of the fear of failure and you've looked at the potential outcomes of your decisions or your goals, it's time now to simplify whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So take baby steps. Sometimes we have fears, and not just fear of failure, but other type of fears, when we get overwhelmed and when there's so much going on and we have big goals. So to break it down in our minds, it simplifies things. Really sit down and write down what are the steps that you need to take in order to get to the end goal. And it may mean having smaller goals and reanalyzing things in a different way, but the fact that you're thinking about it will help you for sure. Number 4, shift your perspective. Failure is inevitable but temporary, so embrace it. What I mean by this is that the more that you fail, the more that you learn and are able to be successful. The key here is to embrace failure. So something that I like to say is fail often, early, and expensively, and learn from the mistakes or learn from the failure. And we'll talk about that really soon in our next tip. But here, I want you to focus on accepting the fact that nothing is perfect, nothing may go as planned. I know some of us could be perfectionists, planners, organizers, and we have a tunnel vision of things that we want to occur in a certain way, but we have to be flexible. We can't expect things to always happen how we want them to. And so when we embrace failure and we look at it from a different light, I know it's easier said than done, but it's possible. If you train your brain to do these things, all of these tips before they happen, next time you have this fear of failure come up, because it will come up again and again in your life, you're better prepared with the right tools in order to tackle it. Number 5, reevaluate. Now that we've gone through the previous 4 steps, it's time to evaluate the entire process. First of all, ask for feedback. Whatever situation that you were in, whether the outcome was good or not so good, it's always good to get feedback so that you learn for next time, or that you get stronger and know how to make better decisions in the future. One way to do this is not only to ask for feedback from others, but also to look within and evaluate what are some of the things that you learned. And I want you to ask yourself 3 specific questions. Write them down in your journal and keep these in mind as you go along in your journey. Number 1, what did I learn from this situation? Number 2, how can I grow as a person from this experience? Number 3, what are 3 positive things about this situation or experience? All right, so there you have it. Those were the 5 steps or 5 ways that you can overcome fear of failure. Bottom line, I just want you to know that you're not alone. We all face this type of fear. It's really important to train our brains to prepare for these situations so that we know how to handle them in the future. Now, I have a question for you. What are some ways that you were able to overcome fear of failure in the past? Or actually any type of fear? I'm sure we've had them. I'm sure you've had them. So go ahead and share down in the comment section below so that we can all continue to learn, because there's so many other ways, there's so many other tips. These are just the 5 top ones that I've used in my practice, but I really want to know what yours are as well. So we've also talked about goals in today's episode, and I want to share a video with you that will be helpful, which is how and why it's important to have radical goals. Radical goals, in essence, are just goals that are big and sometimes risky. So when we have these type of goals in our lives, it's very easy to have fear, such as fear of failure. I'm going to put the link to the video below, and I want you to let me know what you think about it. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and feel free to share across all of our social media platforms. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on those notifications so that you know every time we post a new episode. We typically post them every Wednesday, but right now we're trying different days to see which one works best for our audience. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.